Welcome back to the channel, my friends. Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at the free order faction downloads. This video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. Free order faction pack downloads unite to defend the realms. The mortal realms are fit to burst with malign forces who wish to scour, conquer, and despoil all before them. But they are not alone. Standing against these tyrants, despots, and destroyers are the Sentinels of Order, a coalition of civilizations and a pantheon of gods, mostly, united by the god king Sigmar. Tensions run deep beneath this veneer of unity, as each faction has their own agendas even as they battle to reclaim the realms from chaos. So, pretty cool little setup right here with a nice Cities of Sigmar army defending a cool little fortress / town against the Osiarch Bone Reapers. Very cool. You can download the faction packs of every Order army today to complement the rules and battle profiles from yesterday. The Stormcast Eternals are the chosen warriors of Sigmar Heldenhammer. Mortal champions reforged upon the anvil of Apotheosis and granted immortality, overwhelming strength, and the ability to channel lightning. Alright, so we'll have links down below for each of these Stormcast Eternals first. Mortal soldiers, engineers, and zealots from the cities of Sigmar band together to challenge the terrors of the realms, relying on tactics, grit, and unyielding faith to get the job done. We have the Cities of Sigmar download. The Kharadron overlords live amongst the clouds, Duradin traders and buccaneers who obey an ironclad legal code. They deploy heavy firepower and fleets of airships in their mission to plunder Aether Gold. And then the Kharadron overlords download. The Fireslayers are the scions of the Duradin god Grimnir, who died in a titanic duel with the god beast Volcatrix. His followers now scour the realm searching for fragments of his divine essence that have been distilled into Urgold, acting as dowdy red-crested mercenaries and treasure hunters. Fireslayers. And then we have the Idnath Deepkin. Idnath Deepkin launch lightning raids from beneath the seas, driven by their constant need for fresh souls. They conjure the magical Aether Sea whenever they venture onto land and employ abyssal creatures in sudden assaults that mimic the tides themselves. Idnath Deepkin. Superlative sorcerers and skilled warriors, the Lumineth Realm Lords are the creation of the elven gods Tyrion and Teclis. They commune with the elemental spirits of Hysh in their bid to cleanse the mortal realms of evil and corruption. Lumineth Realm Lords. The Daughters of Cain are elven disciples of Marathi Cain, who schemed her way to Apotheosis as the new god of murder through long-planned treachery. Despite the deception and their predilection for bloody sacrifice, they despise chaos and remain mistrusted allies to Sigmar forces. Daughters of Cain. Guided by ancient land Starmasters, the Seraphon follow a great plan laid out to them by the unknown Old Ones of aeons past. In battle they fight with raw reptilian strength and celestial magic powered by the very energies of Cosmos. Seraphon. The Sylvaneth are more attuned to nature than any other, verdant forest spirits who follow their mother goddess Alariel as they protect the woods of the mortal realms with vengeance. Their uncompromising beliefs make them capricious allies, and they regularly come into conflict with the rest of Order. Sylvaneth. And then the Stormcast Eternals also receive a Battletome supplement that covers the warriors of the Sacrosanct Chambers and a selection of other miniatures which have left the range. It contains pages of lore alongside a new battle formation and war scroll cards, which will be match play legal for 1 year. So we have the Stormcast Eternals supplement. Looking for something a little spikier? Come back tomorrow and you'll be able to download all of the faction packs for Chaos. So very cool. We've got all of the Order stuff. I already took a look at the Sylvaneth just to get an idea relative to what the old rules were, and they look pretty cool. I like the changes so far in like the actual edition. The war scrolls look good. I glanced over the points just to see roughly what had changed. Does it feel like the armies are more expensive, less expensive points wise, aka will it cost you more dollars or less dollars to collect them? And it doesn't look like there's a massive change one way or the other. 2,000 points is still going to be roughly 2,000 points. So no massive changes. Let's take a look at the Stormcast Eternal supplement, the newest one.
Now a quick message from today's sponsor. CMO Games has been selling Games Workshop products online for over 20 years. They carry the full line of Games Workshop products, including Warhammer 40,000, Age of Sigmar, Necromunda, Blood Bowl, paint tools, and more. Almost all Games Workshop products are priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games takes pre-orders for most Games Workshop products released at their earliest date possible. 12:01 a.m. on Saturday, they go live. Most of these pre-order products are also priced at 15% off MSRP. CMO Games offer free shipping in the US 48 with an order of $50 or more. Their customer service is top-notch and they ship most orders within 24 hours. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description and let them know that you heard about CMO Games from Warhammer Man. Now back to the video.
So this is for the new Sacrosanct Chamber and then also Legends, 35 total pages. Couple little pages of art, and then we get into some of the lore right here, Watchers of the Anvil. Alright, so a little bit of background on the Sacrosanct Chambers, and then just talking about some of the legendary units and heroes. At page 21 of 35, we get started with the Battletome supplement, Stormcast Eternals. And then we get into the actual rules for them. So they are very clearly identified in the points list. What units are going to Legends. You'll still be able to use these in friendly games, but as far as like actual tournament games or competitive play, these are like some of the units and models that have gone away from the range. So while these rules are still usable in your friendly games and everything, it's just worth note that you don't necessarily want to invest in any of these if you're going to be disenfranchised later on when you're not able to use them or they don't continue to receive support from Games Workshop. So they have essentially said for the Legends units, also for like the Beasts of Chaos faction and the Bone Splitters, that while they'll be able to be used through 2025, they're not going to receive updated war scrolls and everything. So eventually they are going to be out of date, out of the range, and no longer usable. And while the Stormcast Eternals are continuing to be a functional faction in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, it is worth note that while a lot of their units are actually going away, there's no reason that you can't use things like Retributors or Decimators and continue to use your models as Annihilators, as long as you're very clear with your opponents, basically. And while they temporarily do have these new data sheets, once the data sheets are completely gone, there's absolutely no reason at all that in friendly or in tournament play, you're not going to be able to just use these models with the existing rules for similar things like Annihilators. The most important thing is to just make sure your models are on the correct size basis for what they represent. Make sure you're very clear with your opponent as to what units they are. And I found that 99% of the time, even in a competitive setting at a tournament, you can just talk to the tournament organizer in advance and just double check with them that there's no issue prior to starting. And they're almost always going to tell you that it's perfectly fine, whether you're using old discontinued models to represent something from the existing range, or if you're using third-party models or sculpts. Most of the time, they're going to okay it with absolutely no problem, but it is always good to check ahead of time and just make sure that you're on the same page. That way you can let your opponents know as well that you did check with the TO, that the models have been approved, and there'll be no issues. So very cool, very exciting. Obviously, we had the Order factions now. Tomorrow, we're going to get the Chaos. I haven't looked through all of these yet, but I am definitely excited to see where Sigmar flushes out. Really excited to play some games. Going to be jumping in with Spearhead and getting a couple practice games in, learning the rules. And then we're actually going to be starting up our Spearhead League over on TableTop Pros. So let me know what you're most excited about, which of these factions you're already playing, or which ones you're looking to get involved in. Always like to hear back from you guys in the comments. And as always, special thanks to CMO Games for sponsoring the channel. Check out the link in the description to save 15% on Games Workshop products. That's it for today. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm super excited for Order, but I can't wait for Chaos. And I'm out of here.